this video today to give you guys an update on basically all the stuff that had happened. Okay, we were myself, Jupiter, and one of our friends, Lex, who's another very well-known YouTuber. We went to this protest and we were being extremely peaceful. Okay, myself and Jupiter were one of the first two people that got there. Upon arriving, literally, we were picked out of all the other people that were there, which the other people were white. The white people didn't have anything said to them. It was only myself and Jupiter, where they ran up to us with guns drawn, okay, and told us that if we were to go into the shopping center, then we would be arrested. The white family made an effort to turn around and tell us that, just for the record, they weren't talking to us. This truly did happen. So that rubbed me the wrong way right there, okay? Then the cop that told us that switched spots with another guy that actually was talking, okay? That actually was talking, saying how they felt about the whole situation, that they supported, and blah, 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 whatever, okay? So I found that was pretty cool. That was respectful of him to do. After the fact, about an hour or so passed, we end up going forward with protesting, and we're on a corner, and the group is pretty big. It's pretty decent. There's a couple hundred people, and we're literally right next to the police, but we're not in their face. We're not doing anything. No one's in the street, okay? And I start to hear commands from their supervisor telling them to come forward and to come forward and run at us, all right? All I heard was to basically flank, and that's what they did. They ran around us, and they flanked us, and they ended up pushing down our friend. They pushed her really hard and she scraped her knee, and we ended up splitting up. The groups ended up splitting. The one half of the group ran across the street. The other half ran to the other side. Okay, still where the police were. We didn't know whether or not we could cross the street or not, but we wanted to find our friends. So we were like, fuck it, we're gonna cross the street. So we went across the street, we went back to the group. Mind you, when they ran up to us, they had batons and pepper spray drawn, like they were ready, okay? When we got back to the other side and we went back and gathered with the entire group again, we found our friend. We went back to the other side. We continued on protesting, and we started to move around because the cops started to take a weird formation. And all the while we're doing this, we're peacefully protesting. We're not saying anything. People are telling us to get out of the neighborhood. People are yelling out the window that we're niggers. People are yelling out the windows that we're monkeys that are driving by. People are telling us to go home. People are telling us that this isn't going to solve anything. People are telling us that we're stupid. People are telling us to fuck off. There's so much things that people are saying that we're white, that we're driving past, basically just showing their white privilege, because that's truly what it is. No one wants to get out of the car and actually support the cause. No one wants to say anything. People want to talk shit, and they want to talk shit from the safety of their vehicle, but they won't come at anybody. They won't say anything. So basically, while the protest was continuing on, it got to the point where it started to get dark, and cops started to infiltrate the group. They parked their trucks, they parked their cars, and they started to come behind us. They weren't chanting with us, they started to follow us. And then there were personnel that started to come into the group with wires on their necks. I noticed them, I was able to spot them, and intuitively, I got confirmation that there were cops that were undercover, that were in the group trying to incite things, okay? There was also one person that was very much so rubbing everyone the wrong way, saying a lot of different things that were not in alignment with what we were practicing and what we were protesting. So we let him slide a few times, but it got to the point where everybody was almost going to beat the fuck out of this guy because he kept saying things that were completely out of line and overstepping boundaries that directly correlated to the black and the Mexican folk that were there, because it was really not, it wasn't respectful. It wasn't respectful at all, okay? We ended up having the helicopters. We ended up having one helicopter flying directly over us, shining the light on us, and shining directly on top of me, okay? Looking and following us, driving around. More police cars were coming, and we see these guys just like pressing their earpieces and talking, and the police kind of were finding out exactly where we were. I found that to be very weird, okay, because they didn't acknowledge us when they came into the group. They were not chanting what we were saying. They were walking with us. They had on all black, okay? Some of them had on masks. Some of them had these backpacks on with these different kind of weird shirts and weird suits, weird vests on. They weren't saying anything, okay? The group got a little bit bigger, okay, because there were a couple hundred of us, and we ended up basically just calling it a day after that, because too much shit had happened, especially with people that were driving by saying a bunch of bullshit, whatever. We ended up leaving, and myself, Jupiter, and our friend Lex, we ended up walking back to our car. We were followed by the helicopter back to our car, okay? We also were followed by 2 other police officers in their vehicles, and also a security vehicle that was driving around. And they pulled up to the gas station acting like they were getting gas, but staring directly at us, watching. They were not getting gas. They were not doing anything. I was watching them the entire time. We were then approached by some man who was a lawyer. And he started asking us questions about how we felt about things like that. He just felt like he was someone who was an agent. That's the vibes that I was getting from him. Intuitively, when I pick up on this shit, it's not wrong. So I didn't care that he said he was a lawyer, whatever. He wanted our opinion, so we started giving our opinion. But while we were giving our opinion, he started to talk about racial profiling and come off as very, very racist, even down to the things that he was trying to justify. I found it to be a bunch of bullshit, and tried to call me a racist for saying that we need more of a presence of minority in politics. We need more of a presence of minority inside of these committees that decide things. We need way more of a presence of minority when it comes to being in the jury as well. When it comes to any kind of offices, when it comes to being in Congress, everything. That's what I was telling him. And he tried to turn it to be something that was racist, which was not what I was saying at all. So this was something that was kind of frustrating me. Then we ended up getting back in the car. We left. Okay, we came home. I made a video, and shortly after that, when I went to sleep, I was visited by Beelzebub. Okay. I had been talking about him earlier in the day with a client, and I hadn't connected with him in quite some time. But the thing that was really cool about this dream, about this experience in the astral, was the fact that Beelzebub came as the form, in the form of a swarm of flies, and he was telling me in the voices, all of these flies were one hive mind, okay, and they were basically saying how I have the respect of the kings. I have now the respect of Beelzebub. I have the respect of Lucifer, and that I have come a long way from who I used to be, but I am backed by them. So I found that to be really interesting. Okay, even more so, there were like killer hornets that were in this dream, in this experience as well. So there were killer hornets that were on the ground, and I was being told to not fear them because there is a bunch of mass hysteria being brought forward about the fact that these things are going to be attacking people. So Beelzebub made it to, took it upon himself to make a point that they're not as many of them out here that people, as people think. That the media is just portraying that to make it seem as if they're out here to keep people inside, all right? And I got this directly from Beelzebub, which was really cool. And after that, he assured me that myself, my family, and those that are close to me will be safe, and that we would definitely be watched over, okay? It's really cool and really amazing to get confirmations like this, because I don't believe that I'm the best. I don't believe that I'm the best. I don't feel I'm the best. I also don't feel like I'm someone that is, doing anything that really is huge. But I guess in their eyes, and in Lucifer's eyes, I guess the work that I am doing is respectable, and I've gained the respect of them. I've gained the honor of them, so that's pretty cool to me. I found that to be very heartwarming, and yeah, it was just a very good thing to hear, and it made me feel really good waking up in the morning, and I wanted to make this video, and because of that, and I'm going to be talking and kind of working with Beelzebub for that reason, because he's assuring that he's here, and that everyone is safe, my family is safe. There hasn't been anything that has happened to any of my family members, so I feel like I can definitely take his word for it, but I want to work with him to kind of make sure that if there is something that is possibly going to be happening, that we can prevent it. So I appreciate all of you as always, for tuning in. Thank you for helping me to reach the great heights that I have been reaching. Those of you who really want to learn how to do this shit like me, hit me up, okay? Hit me up. I'm here to give tips. I'm here to help people that want to get a consultation, that want to understand which spirits want to work with them, that want to understand how to use their abilities and how to hone in on them, meditation, things of that sort. There's a lot of content that's going to continuously be coming. I'm still working on my courses. I haven't got all of them finished yet. But if you're new to the channel, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Make sure you share this if you feel compelled to, okay? If you feel like the messages that I'm delivering or the information that I'm putting out there is accurate, or you feel like you align with it, send it to someone else that feels like they might need to hear that, okay? Send it to someone else that might need to hear information about these spirits if they feel like they're on defense about them. Because for myself, as a black man and an occultist, I can tell you right now, this stuff works for me, okay? And from the words of Beelzebub, as a black man, as myself being a black man, I have the respect of them, which is pretty cool to me. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.